What's up, gamers? It's Fed Boy here, and we're going to be talking about Smite 2's premier game mode, Conquest. It's a competitive game mode with 3 lanes surrounded by a jungle area where you have your base defended by 3 towers, 3 phoenixes, and a titan. And the objective of the game mode is just to get to the enemy base and destroy their titan. Easier said than done, but we're going to go over how to get there in this gameplay. So, while there's a lot of things to go over, like builds and how you should play your god in these games, we're going to focus just on Conquest for this video. Some things I like to think about when I'm playing Conquest are just basic rules from the Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's really applicable to most things in life, sports, actual war, video games, anything competitive really. So some of the mindsets I have to go in are if you know your enemy, you know yourself, and you know if you're the result of 100 battles. This really is true in any game, any sport, especially in Smite. You should know your matchups. You should know what you can expect from the enemy team and how to deal with it. So in this case here, we're looking at the god selection screen. This is actually going to fail through. So for those who've never played this before, if you don't select the god, you're going to get deserter. So if you want to avoid that, just make sure that you play a game when you're ready to play a game and if you have the time. And if not, just don't queue up until you have the time to play a game. But this will give us a little bit of time to take an intro into what Conquest will be like and how to prepare for the long journey that is a Conquest game. In Conquest, we kind of break it up in between the early game, the mid game, and the late game. I'm talking about this from purely a casual perspective. I think my highest rank ever was Season 10 in Smite 1 at Diamond 2, and I haven't really been able to play a whole lot of ranked since. But for ranked for Smite 2, I haven't also had the time for that, but I've just been playing a lot of Conquest with my friends and just some random games here and there. So you'll get a pretty decent perspective for a beginner to intermediate. I wouldn't say I'm a pro level player, but you will get a good perspective about how to go about the game for someone who's casually playing it and have an idea of how to win, or at least how to not lose poorly. All right, so while we are waiting for this game to start, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the pre-game, which is the god selection. Obviously, you have 5 different roles: carry, solo, support, mid, and jungle. My main is carry, which is ADC, so I play a lot of hunters, sometimes magical ADCs. Currently, we only have really one in the game, which is Soul, but other ones from Smite 1 are Chronos, and typically I'll play them if I'm just like just doing some offhanded stuff, but normally I do play a lot of like physical ADCs. Everyone's kind of picked their character to their role, so our teammate Chad has picked Loki for jungle, Capt Elemis has picked Morgan for mid. She's more like a magical assassin, and you'll see he's going to have a hard time this game. Antique Chair is our support duo buddy, so he's got Ares, and our last player, Alphaeus, he'll be in the solo lane as Bacchus, which is more of a guardian, but can be played in the solo lane effectively. Obviously, there's 2 sides, Order and Chaos. So we'll take a look at the pre-match selection here. You can either auto build or you can manual build. If you're a brand new player, I suggest taking one of the auto builds. That way you can get back into the action faster. You don't have to worry about building your character. I pick manual build because I am experienced in this game and I like to build my own character with its items. And you'll see this actually helps out later. So we won't really worry about that in this video. We're just going to focus on the game of Conquest. So we'll start it out. In here we have 3 lanes, obviously. You'll notice there's some lanes that are separated a little bit more than others. There's a bigger distance between the towers, so the longer distance is the duo lane, shorter distance is the solo lane. And to make it easier to remember, the purple buff and yellow buff are on the duo side. The red and blue buff are on the solo side. And mid lane is obviously mid lane. Right now we're just picking up items and making our way over to our respective spots. Now, some will say early on the meta of this was to invade, as there's no invader's curse, so there's no debuff to make your character slower when invading the other side of the enemy's map. But because we're going to treat this like it's a normal game, where we're not aggressively going after the other team or making any aggro plays, we're kind of just seeing to make sure they're not doing the same thing to us, and we're going to play a slower game on our side. So the first thing we want to do is grab our buffs. For mid, it's a little bit different. You kind of want to meet in lane first since the wave will meet before the buffs spawn. And you want to make sure that you're ahead of experience on your opponent. And that goes for all lanes. You want to have the experience, you want to have the farm lead on your opponent. Experience also comes with gold, so the faster you get gold, the faster that you can get items and play a better game against your opponents. So right now I'm following my support buddy into duo lane. We get there first, and we obviously start going towards the wave. I missed there, but my goal is just to make sure that we have the clear first, because then if the minions aren't shooting other minions, they're shooting our opponents. Over in mid lane, I can see that Chad's cleared his buff, and he's moving over. He's a Loki, heading over to cap in the middle as Hecate, and we're just taking a quick fight here. I'll just make a quick note about this. Fighting early at level 1, when you only have one ability, there's a lot that can happen to you, and this is exactly why you want to clear wave first. The Bacchus, obviously at level 1, doesn't have a second ability. He can't get away. We've gotten in front of him. I can now spin him back with the spear, and he dies. Now the Neath, she knows that her teammate just died. She wants to come invade. I'm going to miss here, but this allows me to come up and over. She has no way to get out now because I'm in front of her. And then my support gets the chains off and we get a double kill. So this would be a perfect start for any duo lane. You get 2 kills, you get the wave experience, you get the buff. We're now level 3 and we're moving over. Unfortunately, you'll see on the map right now, even though Chad gets that kill out in solo, our mid laner is about to have a bad day because he's about to get ganked in 3, 2, 1. There comes the Fenrir, and boom, he is down. For mid laners, if you have to choose between pressure and position, know your matchup. The mid lane is very, very gankable with the gaps between your tower and the grass only being on one side. You are susceptible to very, very early ganks. So play out the mid, try to get farm first, and if you have the inferior poke and the inferior clear, you definitely want to make aggression plays to get space or use the tower to gain extra levels and experience. You don't want to let the wave just walk in, try to hit it outside and clear as much damage as you can, but unfortunately you can't always do that every single time. And sometimes you will need jungle help. We're taking another fight here. They're being aggressive on us. That's his movement, so I'm going to try to get in front again. I don't make it, and that's okay. I'm going to back up, and we're just going to re-engage the fight later. So this is what we call the laning phase. The laning phase is pretty much fighting in, as it says, each and everyone's lane. The only person who's really moving around at this point is the jungler. They're getting camps to gain experience and looking for opportunities to find kills to gain more experience and gold. Kills are super valuable in Smite 2, so they're definitely the best way to level up and win the game long term in terms of getting that gold lead, getting that experience lead, but it's not everything. Especially if your opponents are really good at dodging, using their movement abilities to get away. Just like this here, the Bacchus aggroes because he knows he has a wave in the tower, which is going to take the damage for him. I kind of go back in, try to save my support. I can't, but it's okay. I live, I back and go fight another day. But it's those little things right there. That was a smart play by the enemy duo lane. They used the wave to walk into our tower, and then they aggressively got a kill. Now, be warned about that. If you do hit somebody, if you do hit another god, again, enemy god under tower, it will swap aggro over to the person who hit. So when you do make that play, make sure you have a good follow-up after. So I'll talk a little bit about solo lane while we're not over there right now, but we can't see it because I'm over on this side of the map. But in solo, you definitely want to play a more bully style play. You want to be pushing your opponent out. You want to prioritize that Warhorn. The Warhorn will give your entire team champion minions, which have more health and do more damage. And also the boss champion minion in the back will do a lot more damage to the enemy tower if you can get him into the tower circle. As you can see here, the enemy duo lane, they are a little aggressive and it costs Neith her life again. I'm now 3-0. This is a great start. This is a good start from your duo lane. You definitely want to get your support out of duo lane because that's going to allow him to be a second jungler almost. He's able to get around the map, provide big CC abilities, and be a meat shield as well as damage for your team. So my goal early is to get kills where it comes, but I am splitting that with my support lane partner. Now he just hit 5. Great. We have our abilities. We are up on the enemy duo lane, and we're going to take another fight here. As you can see from the kill feed and the middle of the map, our mid lane and duo lane are having kind of a rough time. This Fenrir is really he's a god that is really strong early, and this is why they're bullying out the mid lane. Unfortunately, we eat a little bit of humble pie here. I lose my support, and then I stay to fight this. I'm eventually going to die again. I stay a little bit. You know, I could have left. This is one of those times where you have to make those decisions as a ADC. When you're on this island alone outside, and it's a 2v1, probably not a good thing to stay, and I pay for it right there. Now we're down here. We're half in the kills, but we're not out. The good thing about Smite 2, despite having no comeback mechanics right now, is that there is a way to get back in. And unfortunately for a lot of people, that is killing. That is getting kills on the enemy team, getting those large shutdowns, getting those experience and gold bonuses for getting those kills. And for a while, it's going to be hard for us to get it. This is now, I think, my third, the death of the third death on my mid laner. So he's obviously having a very rough time. I rotate over to this fight, make sure that we at least get out or get some sort of revenge for it. Now, this is something that you'll want to watch out for in any of your games with teammates. I'm taking it because my mid laner had died and he was going to miss this wave anyways. Don't try to take experience from your teammates when they've lost a battle and they're back in the gray screen. They do need to get experience as well since they're now behind for dying. So you definitely want to help your teammates get some bonuses back. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to get these tower bounties to give us a little bit more space. I'm not hitting the wave, and so I'm going to back off here. Now the Fenrir noticed this and he got the jump on me. So I'm going to get ganked and I'm going to die. Now, even from this fight, even though I lost it, I'm going to remember how that Fenrir attacked. He jumped in, he went for his stun, and he got most of his damage off before I could return. He's CC immune in his ult, and this is about knowing that matchup. So when I fired my ultimate, it didn't really matter because he's a higher level. He's 3 up on me, so I lost that battle. However, I am going to remember this for the future, and so the next time that we fight, I'm going to be more ready for him than the last time. You have to learn from your mistakes, you have to learn from your losses, and this is just a part of playing the game of Smite. You're not going to win everything, but winning the important battles are what matters. So I lost my tower in that as well, since I wasn't in lane. My lane got pushed up, and now I've lost my first defensive area. This also means that the tower bounty, which is on all the towers, which you saw me getting in mid lane, is gone. So I can still get tower bounties on their tower, on their tier 1. However, I will not get the extra bonus from the final tower bounty for not getting the first one, because Neith got the first tower and all the bounties, it's reduced down. But that's okay. That's still gold for your team. That is still experience that you can get to move you up in the game. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I also know that I won those battles earlier against her. So I don't see the Neith in this case really pushing up to fight me at my tier 2 tower. And in this case, we can now assume that I can be used elsewhere and find our way back into this game. We're currently down about 2,400 gold, which isn't terrible. It means as a team we are behind across maybe a tier 1 item behind, but not out of the game. And I will tell you all right now, for those who are just learning, it's easy to F6, it's easy to quit when you're losing. And for most people, if you're down 15,000 gold or more early, yeah, you probably should just let it go. Like hit the F6 and move on. As you get more experience though, and if you can find teammates who are willing to learn and play with you, you definitely want to stick some games out and try to fight it out. Now, if you're clearly outskilled, it's fine. Like sometimes you just have to take those L's and accept it. Like, yeah, I'm outskilled today. But otherwise, fight it out. See what you can do. You'll never know your limit unless you fight out these games. While we have a little lull here in the fighting, at least on my side of the map, mid's again getting pressured because my mid laner is just having a rough time. That's why I look to come over. They back off, so I just back here. Learn VGS. I will leave a link in the description of the video to the VGS cheat sheet. There's a game in Smite 1 that you can learn the VGS callouts. Otherwise, go ahead and just check out the cheat sheet and try to learn these callouts for your team. Obviously, voice comms are faster if you're in Discord or any other uh, communication service, any other app, whatever you have to talk to your team. And Smite does have a built-in voice chat system, but not everyone's using it, and it's push to talk. So if you want to be in comms with your team, that's also great. As you can see there, we also lost the Gold Fury. So we'll talk a little bit about objectives since that just happened. The Gold Fury and the Fire Giant are on the map. They're two big objectives that you can get. The Gold Fury spawns in at 330 on the map, which will give about 170 to 180 if you kill it instantly. But the point is, it's global gold for everyone. It also provides buffs to your team. And oh, look at this. I remember this fight from earlier. I jump up to dodge his brutalize. He comes back in. He ults. I ult because I'm CC immune now. And look at that. I'm going to win this fight because my abilities are up sooner. And boom. See, as I showed you there, I was under leveled compared to the Fenrir, but I outplayed him with my basic attacks, my ability usage, and my strategy. I didn't wait for him to hit me. I hit him first out of the grass, and I got experience and gold for it. And now he's down for 13 seconds. He's gonna come back. He's gonna eventually kill me later. But it's those little interactions right there where it's a back and forth. It's a pendulum. You have to be ready to take fights and win them the best you can. You need to use your kit, know your kit well, and look for opportunities to outplay the opponent even when they're ahead of you. This was a huge win for our team, especially after so much in mid going wrong. Uh, even when things are going bad, these little wins can help your team get back into the game. They can get the mentals of your teammates up. So if your teammates need help, be there for them. Give them whatever help you can. So we're about at the 12-minute mark, and I would say even earlier. We're now sort of in the mid game. The laning phase is kind of over, and it's a matter of moving back and forth between lanes to get pressure on the map. I get attacked here. Now here's a good example of not giving up, but also if you know you're outnumbered and you're gonna lose, take someone with you. Don't be afraid. I use my blink rune to ensure the kill and make sure that I don't wait for the projectile to hit me. I also use it to get some separation, and it doesn't matter because I still die. But as you can see, my jungle has come in. Loki's gonna come behind and get all these hits off of Bacchus and kill him. So getting that kill, making sure that you take someone with you, even if you know you're going to die from your situation, it's huge because you never know who could be coming behind. I was lucky in that my jungle saw the fight happening to me. He rotated over and cleaned up for the kill. Now that pressure is gone, and he can go back to helping out in other places on the map. As a jungler, you do want to get your camps and you want to be active on the map, but you are a kill machine. You need to be looking for attempts to gank, looking for attempts to support your team by being a glass cannon. You get in there, you drop CC, you drop damage, and you make sure that the enemy team is scared of you at any moment. Now I'm moving over here to the Naga camp. This is another bonus camp on the map. What you get from this is a Naga buff. By picking this up, it will spawn two Nagas that attack for you. So if you want to siege Gold Fury, if you want to siege a tower, by hitting an ability or a basic attack, it will spawn the Nagas and it will tank for you whatever objective you've placed for them. Now there is a debuff, as you'll see. They cannot be resummoned again for 15 seconds after being used. So there is a cooldown for that. You can't just go one after the other, but it's still good to have it. I typically like to use them for pushing towers or objectives. As you can see here, the Gold Fury is about to spawn, And let me tell you, compared to Smite 1, the Gold Fury is a lot easier to kill, has a lot less health, so it does take an adept team to know once it's up how to take it. And sometimes all you need is a window. Because it spawned, they were already there, they wanted the next one. However, my jungle, he came over top, you saw they were missing, and we engaged them to get them off the Gold Fury. Now that we can slow them down, we're re-engaging, we're looking to get picks, because the Gold Fury has damaged them quite a bit. We take out one, we're going to move another here. We lose our jungler again, but it's okay because we're going to take another kill here. And now it's 2 for 1. They've lost 2. We still have 4 players up that are relatively healthy, and we're able to spawn the Nagas, and we take the Gold Fury. If you see the enemy attacking, look for attempts to steal. Don't be afraid. If you have a big nuke ability like a mage would, sometimes just throwing that in at the last second can be a steal, but never let these things go uncontested. Big note. Never let an objective go uncontested. Even if you're the last person alive and it's possible they win the game, well, you don't really have a choice at that point. You could just let them have it and then defend at the base, but your towers and your phoenixes are only going to do so much. So if you can deny a big objective, especially once it becomes Ancient Fury later, or deny a fire giant to a team looking to siege, those are huge. Don't let don't let the enemy team have it for free. Okay. So for all the death matching and all the losses early, we've now kind of evened the game up. It's 21-21 in the kill count. We have a slight gold lead here, so we've worked our way back into this game very well. We had some differences like in duo and mid where we had the early advantage and then they had struggles in mid lane, but now we kind of have the advantage over here. I currently am 8-3, I think, at this point. So working hard to kind of push this out. Now here's a big thing right here. That's the Hekate ult. It's going to pull us all, and we all get slammed by Fenrir. If you are confident, remember that all these things can happen to you. So that was a big misstep on all of us. We grouped up. We made ourselves a very appealing target, and we all got destroyed for it. It's those moments right there. We're not perfect. We're not pro players. We make mistakes too, but that was a very good play by the Hekate and the Fenrir. They used their abilities well. They hit us all with two big movement ability. Sorry, two big CCs in that displacement and that stun. So, I mean, hats off to them. They played a great game. Here, my solo laner goes back in, pushes back the Akate from mid. I'm moving over to push back the Fenrir from right. And you'll see my mid laner is now moving back up, and he's going to use one of the Morrigan's abilities to finish off the Sakate. Sometimes just about sending a message. And that's what he told me here. He's like, I'm going to turn into Loki, and I'm just going to let her know that, hey, you killed us, and you made a great play, but now you're dead. Don't let people get away with stuff and think they're the greatest thing, to ever happen, because sometimes it's just letting them know, hey, we're still here. The game's not over yet. Great plays can happen, and you can still lose the game. This was a great gank here by the Fenrir. He waited for me. He knew where I was from the minions. They gave away my position because I autoed them, and he got the jump. It was a smart play. He got a lot of damage off early, and it really didn't matter what combo I had with my abilities there. I wasn't going to win that. So again, I remember that. I could have put wards out to see that, but in the end, there's really nothing I could do in terms of just kill and just outright damaging him, because I don't have enough at this point to out trade a Fenrir who's already got the jump on me. But that's okay. We're going to learn from that, and we're going to make better plays down the road. They've got a slight lead on us now. It's back up at about 2,600, 2,800. It'll grow. But we are still in the game. We've lost 2 tier 1s. We still have a tier 1 in left, and it's just flipped. They've lost tier 1 and tier 1 in both lanes except my duo lane. So it's about even structures-wise. And here we're going to look for another opportunity. We're going to see the Gold Fury spawning. I see Bacchus right. I see no other players. I make the call for Gold Fury, and we head straight for it. It doesn't really matter who pulls it, as As long as you have a team to swap off, I'm swapping it now to my tank because he takes less damage with his prots, and we're going to get this Gold Fury. This is really huge. You want to look for opportunities where the enemy team is just not around. I looked at the map. I saw my jungle and my soul laner were high up the map. I didn't see any red markers, so I made the call with the enemy support in duo lane. Hey, it's going to take him 10 seconds to walk over. We burn this before he ever gets here. And I want to stress this a lot. Those times just to walk from place to place is all you need. If you have a gap, take it. If the enemy's offering just free objectives, take them. Now, this is going to at the very top here, you're going to see a couple of my teammates here. They're going to back in front of a tower. Don't ever do this unless there's an entire row of players dead. Don't ever back at someone's structures. They get punished for it hard. The Fenrir kills one and then ults the Bacchus under tower, and they're both dead. I can back here because they don't know I'm here, and I'm going to get out in time, so I'm okay. But do not do what they did and back in front of a structure. They can see you on the map, and yeah, you will die. So we see here that the needs kind of pushed up. She's really high, no real pressure on the tower, and she's going to die for it because we have Loki and Ares right in her face. She can't get away, chained up, flurried. Every ability is just killing her. So right now it's a 4 versus 4. We have people lost, and again, we've lost another structure, but we're not out of the game. They're going for Fire Giant because they see this as a good opportunity to get some extra power, get extra push off. I'm going to go for the steal here. Like I always said, don't leave it uncontested. I throw my ult. We don't get it. I go for another kill. I fat finger this button, so definitely don't do that. But yeah, we lose here. Now the good news is this is a very, very bad decision on the Fenrir. He's going to go brutalize the Loki. He's going to get stunned under tower, and it's going to take 2 tower shots. Oh, maybe just 1. But that bounce from Bacchus, now he's out of position. He's going to get pulled. He may not die here, but eventually it's going to happen. Yeah, if that Fenrir doesn't jump on Loki, he probably survives and still has Fire Giant. If you get Fire Giant or any big buff on the map, it's probably smarter to not just W key into enemy structures, especially when your opponent has a hard CC like a stun. And the Fenrir learned the hard way that it's costly. So now, not only did my jungler get extra XP from that assist, and then my soul laner got XP and gold from the kill, but now it stops their push. They have to back up, and we have 2 members going up the solo lane now and getting space. So far, it's been a pretty tough game. It's neck and neck, I would say. Again, my mid laner had it rough, but now he's kind of back into the game. Still 2 down on his opponent, but not out of the game. We have 2 players at 20, our solo and jungle. And here we're going to take another fight because we see that they don't know we're here. The Neith uses her backflip early, so I want to aggress. I'm going to ult. She gets a good shot off on me, but I have Hasten Fatalis, so I'm going to go chase her, get these autos on, and I'm going to win this. This is, again, about knowing your opponent, knowing your enemy. And I know just from the earlier parts of this game, the Neith isn't that good. I know that I can beat them 1v1, so I'm going to take them. I also see that Loki's nearby, so I have assistance if he comes over. I'm going to take this fight on the Bacchus. Now, because of my build, I'm lifestealing a lot. I probably should have kept autoing here, but it's okay because I have ways to get around. I'm still autoing. I'm gonna heal a lot, and then my Loki's gonna come in and take care of the Bacchus. Look, again, if you're jungle, you want to look for opportunities that your team sets up for you to take kills, get experience, and just keep the game moving in your team's favor. Now here I see that Ancient Fury has spawned, so we are moving towards it. And this is big because Ancient Fury will remove all towers and all Phoenix, well, all structure will be disabled for 120 seconds. So you can now walk into these with pretty much reckless abandon because they won't shoot you. However, like if the enemy is there, then obviously you have to contend with them. The good news is, since this is our 3rd Gold Fury buff, we now get 50 prots when in their structure. So we actually get a bonus for sieging. At this point in the game, we do have enough to siege, but again, we are a little cautious. We've had some good fights, and we're working our way up. And this is kind of all it is. Post 20 minutes, we're now in the late game. The late game is less about laning or any of the stuff that you saw in the first 20 minutes. This is all now about the players. Can you make good decisions and can you like win games as a team? Right there, I get plucked by the Fenrir. It's unfortunate and I die. I probably should have backed up or jumped over to get out of range, but again, overconfidence can make you do dumb things. So this is one of those moments where we almost lost it. We're going to lose 5 people here. Uh, and this is with their structures down. So they felt the power to aggress us and they did. The good news is our structures are still up, so they will shoot back at the minions and the gods as they push in. And while we still have 5 structures, it's going to take them a minute to burn down. And this is part of the don't give up. I know the timers. I'm looking at how long it'll take for us to respawn. I know support's coming back up in 5 seconds. I know mid's coming up in 10. I'm right behind them at 13. We have a chance here. And this is where it's key. When you're being sieged, you need to make sure you have good target prio. If they back out as the Fenrir did, he went in too early, took a lot of damage. We're going to focus the people who are the immediate threats and work our way down. Now the bad part is in Smite 2, getting kills near the Titan in Smite 1 would help revive the Titan. It'll get some more health back. Unfortunately, in Smite 2, it only has I think it's a 4 health per second. It's a very very small amount that it regains health when not attacked. So that was a big defense for us. We kept the game alive. Even though we lose our mid laner again, I'm going to survive. I'm going to push this out. I use my pillar to get a slow here. I need to win this fight. Luckily, my jungle is right there with me, and we get a pick. We've pushed them back now. We have a chance to turn this game around. We've lost some structure in mid, so we've lost our Phoenix, which means they have enhanced minions coming down. But that's okay. We at least kept them out, and now this is a big point of the game that I'm going to make for all players who get to this point. Do not get sloppy about ending. It's better to go in with a team to end the game and destroy the Titan than it is to go alone. However, there are some opportunities where, as a big damage mage or an ADC or a jungle, where you can get lots of damage off quickly, or even a support, you can get damage off quickly and kill the Titan. However, as you'll see in the upcoming moments, they get very sloppy with ending this game. And this is going to help us come back into this game and eventually win it. This is all part of the don't give up. And even when you lose towers, even when you lose phoenixes, it's not the end of the world. It just means you have to play smarter and you have to play better. As you can see here, they went in deep. The Fenrir went for it, and he didn't get it. Now the box is going to go in by himself. I'm going to use my spear to push him away, and we finish him off too. They got it down to 867. All it would take is one more person to get in. Unfortunately, we have all the lanes covered, as the first 2 still need the towers down, so they have to walk through that, or they can walk through the jungle camps where we'll see them. Again, it's really hard to end by yourself. You want to go as a team. Now here, it's a 4v3. We're a little bit late, but that's okay. We're coming up, and we're looking for opportunities to aggress. We see that there's only 2. So I go in, I use my ultimate, I get pressure up. We're still falling because I have Hasten Katana, or Hasten Fatalis, I can walk up at them and still auto. And now we've got a kill. We've taken 3 out. I turn around and stop the fire minions from going backwards. I get my autos off. This Chalk doesn't want to fight me, not sure why, but he walks away. So we decide to move over. We see that Ancient Fury is back up again. It's been up for a minute. They didn't take it. We should go take it. Sometimes when you see these up, don't be afraid to make that call out to your team. Whoever can be there to go, we notice that they're coming over to challenge, so we drop it. It's okay to drop. As we're retreating, this is a map awareness part. We realize that the horseshoe is bigger than we thought, and it's going to mess up our pathing. The Fenris catches us. We're going to lose my support here, but unfortunately for this guy, yeah, he took a lot of damage. This is part of that sloppiness. They chased really hard to get us off Gold Fury, but they chased so hard and so deep into our side of the map that they weren't ready. I just too poorly pulled that camp, but I see other problems, so I head on over to go handle the god. We see Chalk, he's using his abilities, he's going to ult, I'm going to dodge it, and we're going to get the kill. So they've lost 3 people very quickly. They've lost a lot of their push and allowed for our Phoenix to come back, which means now they can't just walk until to kill the Titan. They must now kill the Phoenixes first in order to damage the Titan. That is huge. We have basically turned this game around. I also see there's 3 down. We go over to look at solo lane. We see that the Neath is backing up. And now we decide, no, we're just going to take Fire Giant. This is a great opportunity. It's 3 versus 5, or sorry, 2 versus 5. We know that any challenge is going to only come from 2 people. They're not strong enough to walk into this by themselves, so they have to do it from range, which they both are range characters. And we're going to take this. Now that the entire team is spawned except for Chalk, we know that they're definitely coming over this way to help out, as their team's going to see this Fire Giants being taken. And now we aggress. I decide that this is our opportunity. As you can see here, I'm getting attacked, but I'm not really worried because I have a lot of health regen. I have a Fire Giant buff. I have a lot of life steal. And I'm going to give this Fenrir the business again. He's going to walk away, but as you'll see, I'm ready for his movements. He's going to brutalize. I'm going to jump that, turn around, spear him into the wall. He's dead. Now this entire time, I am taking damage, but I'm also getting a lot of heals. It's over 100 per spear that I throw. So, oh wow, that's 200. Anyways, yeah, we're taking this fight to them. We got the Fire Giant buff, and they've lost everyone except for Neath. So now all it comes down to is getting this kill. We use our abilities, and he's gone. And from here, they surrender. It's just one of those games where you just never give up. And I know this wasn't a Titan kill or a perfect siege on our side, but this is a way to win a victory. Sometimes you just have to play to the end and outlast your opponent. And here we played a smart defense. We made it a real struggle for them to win. And all it takes is one turnaround, and the whole game could be lost. And we made that turnaround, we made that push, and getting all those kills after Fire Giant, that was the key to victory. So I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of Conquest, and if you liked the video here, please head on over to my channel, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.